So let's talk a little bit about pleasure, the nature of pleasure, and following pleasure. It's really strange that when we have the opportunity to ask for the kind of pleasure that we want, we very often can't figure out how to do that. It's kind of a mystery, but that's what seems to happen. And what often happens, particularly if it's around touch, and particularly if it's around touch that has something to do with sex, is that we tend to think, oh my gosh, I have to push through this resistance of mine, and I should be comfortable with XYZ, so therefore I'm just going to make myself do it. That's not where we're going. What can help to know is that pleasure is a physiological process, happens in our bodies, in our nervous system, and your nervous system knows how to find it. We're born with it. And it's good for us. Changes our blood chemistry, changes the way our nervous system's responding, changes our perception of the world, changes our perception of ourselves. It nourishes us in a very tangible, physiological, neurological way. It's not theory, it's not esoteric, and this is very well understood and researched by physiologists. Pleasure is good for you. And what seems to be less understood is that you cannot push it. You follow it where it already is. What happens is this. Something very simple feels good. Maybe it's just a little stroke of the arm. But if it feels pleasant, if you bring your attention to it, the pleasantness grows, and what's happening is that you're recruiting more brain cells for that experience. That engages your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your nervous system that goes, your blood chemistry changes, your blood pressure changes, your muscle tone changes, the rate of breathing and depth of breathing changes. Very physiological process. And once that physiological state kicks in, of course, then you feel different, and also things look different to you. You begin to become interested in different things, or you may take that deeper, or you may decide that's enough, you want to go somewhere else with it. That's called following the pleasure. The other way, the old way and the common way is this. You have an opportunity to be touched in some way that you like, and you think that there's a right way to do that, and you try to make yourself do that and push through. And the very act of pushing through engages a part of your brain that turns off your ability to sink into it and relax into it. You cannot do them both at once. So as soon as you start pushing and be determined and work at it, you engage this other part of your brain so that this part of your brain that settles in turns off. You cannot get there that way. So following your pleasure means you notice what sounds good or feels good already, right now, and you follow that. And it will take you lots of places, and you follow wherever it takes you. And this is why pushing yourself never works in this process. The image that comes to me about this is like a goddess in the forest. She's out there holding the lantern, and that's where pleasure is. And it's your job to go towards that pleasure goddess, not to tell her, oh no, you shouldn't be over there, you should be over here. That's not the way it works. You go to where she already is, give her your loving attention, and enjoy the pleasure that you already have. And then it will take you where it takes you. And that means that oftentimes people think that, well, I'm supposed to want more than I actually do want, or I'm supposed to want something fancier than I want, or I'm supposed to want something more intense than I want. But if what you want is to have your hand held, or to be held, or to have your arm stroked, or the simplest thing, that is where you start. And then your physiology kicks in, and then it takes you. Not the other way around. It does beg the question, though, what if something feels a little edgy? that, ooh, that, sounds exciting. I'm not sure. I have a little resistance. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It's kind of at my comfort edge. And here's what you do with that. And those are wonderful places to play. What you do with that is you listen for the pull, not the push. Here's what a push sounds like. Gosh, I resist that. I really should get over myself. That's what I'm supposed to like. That's what he wants me to like or she wants me to like. So I guess I better figure out how to like it, and I'm going to get over my resistance, and I'm just going to bust through this. That's a push. Don't go there. This is a pull. Ooh, boy, that's a little edgy for me, but I really want it. It looks great. I'm a little scared, but it looks great. That's a pull. Very different experience. So listening for the pull is part of following the pleasure because it looks pleasurable. So that's the principle of following your pleasure.